The first sign that a buyer may not be a real buyer is if they say, I don't have a budget. There's no limit to what I can spend. Guys, real buyers, no matter how wealthy they are, and I have a lot of wealthy clients, always have a budget. Hey guys, Alex here. Welcome back to my channel. This vlog is for my colleagues, my fellow real estate agents and brokers. If you're new in this industry, you're going to meet so many people with so many different personalities, and you get to see the different side of people, the good, the bad, and the ugly. In fairness naman, the majority that I've met are good people, like 98% are so kind and nice and are really a pleasure to deal with. And then there's the remaining 2%. And today we're going to talk about them because frankly, no one does. No one really tells you what it's like in the real estate industry, like the nitty-gritty, the real deal. Of course, everybody says it's good, the industry is amazing, and it is. But sometimes you also need to talk about the difficult things so that, especially the new agents and brokers, you're going to be aware of these things and you will know how to deal with them once they come your way. So today I'm going to be sharing with you how I handle and deal with difficult clients. Let's start with bogus buyers. So we've had a few experiences in the past, especially in the first few years when I was in the business. Now, not so much because I already know how to screen clients. I'll know within like the first 5 minutes of conversation whether this person is a serious buyer or not. But when I was still starting out as a real estate broker, I did not know how to do this yet. I didn't know how to screen. So let me give you some tips on how to know if that buyer is a bogus buyer or a real buyer. The first sign that a buyer may not be a real buyer is if they say, I don't have a budget. There's no limit to what I can spend. Guys, real buyers, no matter how wealthy they are, and I have a lot of wealthy clients, always have a budget. There's always a cap to what they want to spend on a piece of property. Another sign is that they're always talking about how rich they are and even start name dropping. My clients who I know are really wealthy, they don't need to brag because if you're really successful, you have nothing to prove. And the third sign of bogus buyers is if they have no objections. You know, when you show them different properties and they like everything about the property, they have no objections and they don't even negotiate on the price, they're probably a bogus buyer. Because real buyers always have objections and they always negotiate. I remember when we were 2 years into the business, we met this lady who wanted to buy a house. So we showed her this 20 million house that she really liked. She didn't haggle. She said she liked everything about it and would pay the down payment in 2 days, which was a Monday. So we prepared everything, like all the paperwork, and then came Monday. And we couldn't contact her all of a sudden. Needless to say, the sale didn't push through because she was a bogus buyer. And at the time, we were too excited and inexperienced to be able to read and tell the signs. So for new agents, watch out for these signs. Next, buyers who already have an agent but contact you for additional information without telling you they already have an agent. And then they end up reserving with their original agent. So this just happened recently, twice. The first was a year ago, and the more recent one was just a few weeks ago. So the same thing happened. A buyer contacted me about a subdivision project here in CDO. And of course, I entertained them and I give this buyer all the details. I didn't know this buyer already had an agent for this project because he made it seem like he didn't have an agent yet. So I should have asked him outright as well. So that's my bad on that. So I gave him all the information that he asked for, like the inventory, the computation. I also spent time explaining to them over the phone. And then I find out they reserved with another agent. Because it turns out they already had an agent to begin with. So in handling clients like these, I just go by my core principles, which is honesty, respect, and integrity. So I have to be honest about how I feel in a respectful manner. I tell them, you know, it's okay if you just need more information about the project, which maybe your agent cannot provide since you're looking for info elsewhere. Because I have a lot of people who message or email me asking for real estate advice about their properties located in other cities in the Philippines, like Cebu or Bulacan, and I know that they're not looking to buy from me. And that's okay. I reply to them, I help them because it's my way of giving back. I genuinely want to help people. And that's why I share everything I know about real estate on this channel with you guys. But please, be upfront with me. And, because if you tell me last minute, like that you already have an agent, I feel like you've just been using me. And then, of course, the buyer apologized to me, tells me he didn't mean to do it. And I tell him, you know what, it's all good. You have the freedom to choose your preferred agent. Next time, just please be honest about it. Because it's gonna be found out anyway. In Bisaya, we say, walay aso na makumkum. In English, you can't hide smoke. So it will always come out. Truth always comes out. So it's best to just be honest and upfront about it in the beginning, just so to avoid misunderstandings. And then the next type of difficult client is buyers who want to deal with the seller directly, even though you were the one who brought them together in the beginning. Because sometimes buyers do that. They think that we jack up the commission. So that's one misconception that buyers have. Like, okay, I'm gonna get a discount if there's no broker. So what buyers don't know is that sellers already have this fixed selling price. Okay, this is my net amount. And the broker's fee is actually already incorporated into the selling price. So it's still the same. So you're working on a transaction, and then of course later on during the course of the transaction, you will reveal to the buyer who the seller is and vice versa. And then if the client is not trustworthy, which rarely happens actually, because most of my clients are super trustworthy. They love me, I love them. But again, there is that 2% who really want to deal directly with the other party, even if it's you, the broker, who connected them in the first place. So some clients do this on purpose, again, so they can maybe cut out the broker's commission from the purchase price and save a little money. So how do I deal with this? Again, I just go by my core values. I tell them how I feel and what I expect in a respectful manner upfront. Because I believe that you can be respectful but still say the hard things. And I learned this from my husband. Because I used to be such a turtle and just avoid conflict. Just hide in my shell whenever there was conflict and emerge once okay na. But now I realize that it's really doing a disservice to other people if you're not upfront as well. And also, of course, you do need to pick your battles, but there are some things that just need to be said. So even if they're difficult to say, I'll say them if I need to. In my 11 years of being in this industry, I haven't had the experience of a seller not giving me what is due to me, because I, in general, have a good relationship with my clients and they trust me. I trust them back as well. Also, another tip for new agents is always ask for an authority to sell from your seller. If they are sincere in wanting to work with you, they will sign it. No problem. If they don't want to sign a simple authority to sell, that's a red flag and you should just walk away from that listing. The one time that the seller didn't give us the broker's fee that was due to us was because the seller was the other broker's client and they didn't have an APS. So we just had to move on from that. So anyway, the Lord has blessed us with so many amazing clients. Many of them have become good friends of mine, and I'm truly grateful for the relationship that I have with my clients and for the trust. At the end of the day, if the person you're dealing with really cannot be trusted, then that's already a character issue and there's nothing you can do about it. It's between them and God. So as a rule, we don't deal with people we cannot trust, because relationships, be it a business relationship or a personal relationship, is based on trust. You can sign an ironclad contract, but without trust, the deal is just not going to happen. And then we also have handling bullies. So of course, bullies are not only seen in school, they're also seen in the workplace. So there are bullies in the real estate industry as well. And I'm talking about, life in general, not just clients. There are people who are just bullies. And if things don't go their way, they will mistreat you, treat you disrespectfully, or shout at you. And the way that I handle this is that I don't take it. Like, I just put my foot down and tell them directly, please don't talk to me that way. Let's handle this in a rational and respectful manner. So I don't condone any form of bullying towards me or my family or my agents. I really stand up and speak my truth respectfully to the other party. And when you do that, the bullying stops. and then they start treating you with the respect that you deserve. So if someone is bullying you right now, especially if you know you've done no wrong, stand up and speak your truth and be firm with them in a respectful manner, and they will back down. So to summarize, it's important that we have core principles in dealing with people and life in general, because our principles will act as our compass, our North Star when things get tough. And when they do, we won't have to compromise our values because we have drawn the line in advance. Our family's core values are honesty, integrity, excellence, giving our 100% in the things that we do, respect. We may not always agree, but we always treat each other with respect. And these values I learned from following Jesus because he is ultimately my compass. He's my rock and my foundation in life. So no matter what happens, I will not be shaken because my foundation in Christ is solid. So if you feel like you don't have that strong foundation yet and are easily swayed by the world, I encourage you to give Jesus a chance and, to touch your life and be a part of it. Accepting Christ was the best decision that I've ever made in my life. And because of him, I have the courage and conviction to do what's right, to stand up for what I believe in. If you want to grow in your relationship with Christ, just contact me. I'd be happy to connect you with a community that can help you grow. And I hope I was able to encourage you today. I hope you go far in your real estate career, and I will see you in my next video.